Welcome back, guys. I mentioned some wheels that I bought back in my update. I've acquired the two rear wheels, and now I'm about to start prepping them. This is one of the rears I bought. Had a little damage there, which I'm gonna sand out. Has a nick there. This is another one of the ones I bought for the rear. I actually got pretty lucky on this one. It's actually damn good condition except for a little slight thing there and one on this one. Those three are the original three that I bought from the guy. That little scuff there, can't really feel it with your finger. Little bit here on the edge. There, there, and there. But overall, pretty good condition. And this one, there. Little scuffs here and there. Again, the price of three was the price of one wheel brand new. At least on eBay. When I was looking on that, it was about $284 for a wheel, $284. I got all three of these for $280 with tires, even though Firestone fucked up one of the tires when they pulled them off. But I'm not gonna be pissed about that or even worried about. For this one, this is the worst of the three originals. You see that's completely dead, so I'm gonna have to sand all that off. So this one is rashed for days. But again, I still got all three for $280. So this will just be a spare front. Plan on powder coating them. I have not decided on a color yet, but I will be getting powder coated. Also on that wheel, I got super lucky. Reason why, I was ordering, and then as I was looking on eBay, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get plus 25 offset. That'll give me the look that I want in the rear. And when this one arrived, I bought this one first, then that one second. That one arrived, everything on it and about it on the outside of the box said 25. But when I flipped the wheel over, it was stamped plus 45. So I hit up one of the guys in the forums. He owns Kia Hyundai Auto Racing and has had about 7 to 8 sets of wheels on his car, including when he was stock body and wide body. So I checked the fitment with him. He said, actually, that's perfect. I test fitted it and it fits damn good. I won't need any spacer. I won't need any additional camber or anything. Plus, I'll still be able to run like a 285 on the rear, which I wanted to go up to anyway. As far as the front, I may do 255, may go 265. I don't plan on having a stretch look like I got on my G35. I plan on running a meaty look on the Stinger. So that's where I'm at with these. I just gotta sand them, get this little roughness off. Y'all know what I mean. Get that off, clean it up, do a little bit more research as to what I can put on them to fill in the areas and reshape. So that way when they go to powder coating and they sandblast them to get this finish off, that doesn't come off also. I'm thinking quick steel should work, but I'll do some research. Also, I found out that these long valve stems won't work. I had those put on while the tires were still on just to test fit the wheels. I put some pictures of that, test fit on the front and rear to see how good they would look. Did I need spacers or anything? So I've done all that, done my test fit in front and rear, so I know where I'm sitting at. I'm gonna show y'all how easy it is to get out the curb rash. Literally just Google some videos, man. I got 120 here that I just picked up from Ace, and I've done it a little bit right there. If it looks smooth to you, so I'm gonna do that section that y'all seen earlier, so you can see how easy it actually comes out. I was surprised myself, but do a little bit for y'all so y'all can see. So that way, if you on the fence about buying some wheels because they got curb rash, you can actually get a damn good deal. Just make sure they're not bent. If they got tires on them, take them for a ride if you have to, just to make sure you get a good deal so you don't get any bent wheels. Cause that's harder to fix than curb rash. Curb rash is cool, but bent wheels is not. That'll get costly, and it kind of sucks dealing with or riding on them. You can see it's already getting smooth. Change the angle so y'all can see it a little better. That's a slight lip right there. So I'm gonna finish sanding that out, then I'm gonna work on that area. Also note, be careful and check often so you don't take too much out. I'm just taking enough out to get the major burrs off, and then after that I will, yeah, that one's starting up to catch your fingers. Taking enough out, so all I gotta do is rub a thin thing of, I think I'm gonna use the quick steel from JB Wheel to fill in the gouges. So just be mindful of that while you're doing this. Now it's for this destroyed piece right here on this tip. I really don't know how to go about it, so I'm gonna try it with a pry bar first. See, can I just knock it off? Oh well, there you go. Just simply peel it off. I guess I couldn't get it with my hands. This one, I'm gonna see, can I do the same? Not working. It's pretty smooth. That's pretty smooth. Also, another reason not to sand it smooth, so when you do put your quick steel or whatever you use to fill this in, it has something to grip into and hold on to the wheel so it doesn't slip off or get chipped off so easily. That's something I learned in paint class or body shop in college. Was that's why you wet sand and prep and all that before you actually paint. And the small scratches that's in the primer and stuff holds the paint onto the car a lot better. Okay. I will use some needle nose pliers to get in there and pluck that out. The reason I'm doing the refinishing myself is my powder coat guy, he doesn't do any refinishing. But his prices are excellent and his work is excellent. As y'all can see, little to no work, and bam, it's coming out good. We'll go ahead and knock the rest of them out, and pick back up after that.